Welcome, everybody, back to the next episode of Sports Talk with Hawk. I am Hawk. Welcome in on this wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we are going to continue on in the training camp depth chart podcast. And today, we're going to do the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, everybody was used to, for basically 2 decades, the New England Patriots being one of those teams that you were wondering more of which unsung, uh, undrafted free agent, what, minimum payment, or sorry, minimum salary guy would be all of a sudden this star on this Bill Belichick defense. It's a little bit different now. And I want to give credit to Gerard Mayo before we get in. I love the staff that he's built. I really do. The draft was fantastic. It was an anti-Belichick draft. And I think they did a fantastic job. I don't think they're going to be outrageously competitive, but look for later in the year, basically after Thanksgiving, look for them the final 5, 6 weeks to really put some pressure and not be a pushover. They legitimately just not be a pushover. I like where they're at. I like where they're trying to go. Can't really fault them at all. So let's get this thing started with the coin flip as usual. Here we go. So for coin flip today, this is what I was thinking about. A lot of things coming up and a lot of talk last weekend, especially Friday, Thursday and Friday. Just a lot of talk about all the changes in both college and NFL. And I started going back in my own memory banks. 2.5 decades of legitimately diving into football. Excuse me. Sorry about that. 2.5 decades of diving into football the way that I do. Started to think about how many times different things have been tweaked. All the different rule changes that I've seen. And let's be honest, there's actually quite a few. In 30 years, the amount of rule changes from catches, tackles, blocking, even running now too, defense, what you can do, what you can't do, what you may get away with, what you don't want to be caught doing. Every business evolves. If you don't evolve a little bit, you won't have a business. I've heard, there are, and it's not, I don't blame them. I do not blame them. So I want to preface it with this. I don't blame them. But there are a lot, you can hear a good amount. I won't say a lot, but you hear a good amount of, I wish it wouldn't have changed. If you take the two sports, currently the two most polarizing sports, the NFL and the NBA, just take both of those. The NFL adapted and evolved a lot better than the NBA did. The NFL understood you have to keep who you are. The NBA, for lack of a better term, went millennial and Gen Z. We just want to see points. We don't want to see anybody have to work hard. We want everything to be easy. Yes, I'm being slightly facetious, but that's the idea. Traveling's not called. There were multiple, in the playoffs, multiple 5-step, Euro step layups that weren't called travels because it's just accepted. It's against the rules, but get away with it. Flops. Doggone it, we all hate them. But with no defense, then points, points, and points. Yeah, because no defense. The NBA evolved bad. This new deal, everybody in the NBA offices are trying to hype up and get everybody excited. We got the media deal. We got the deal we wanted. Yeah, those companies are going to lose money on this deal, period. ESPN has the infrastructure to handle this. It's going to be great having NBC back. Hopefully they bring back Round Ball Rock, baby. That's what we want to do. But TNT this time is a little bit smart about this. They're questioning, do we really want to be involved in this? Do we really want to, is the relevance, and this is what they're going to be between, is the relevance of our product worth the money we're going to lose? And that's a big decision. The NFL at this point, and it will eventually come to a head, the money eventually runs out. It does eventually run out. It'll get there. Just take some time. The NFL is actually something that everybody loves to watch. This lawsuit with YouTube, or the NFL Sunday Ticket, I hope will change a couple things because the money is there, and the NFL has done a good job of being a business and evolving the business side. And that's why they're crushing everybody else. So don't get stuck on what things were in the past. Yeah, I would love to have 95 to 2005 basketball again. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to have defensive backs be able to knock receivers out a little bit more, press them, frustrate them, get those divas to start crying on the field because they're not tough enough. Sure. But of the two, I'll take one. The other one I can barely watch. It's not even fun. And I had a team in the playoffs making a run to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it still wasn't nearly as fun as watching the 10th game that you'd rank in a week. If all 16 games are on and you rank them from 1 to 16, you rather watch the 10th game than the round of 8 NBA playoffs. That's sad. So there's that. So now let's get into the teams. We're going to open up, like I said, we're doing the Dolphins and the Patriots. So we are going to open up and we're going to go straight into this. Yesterday ran a little bit longer than I originally was planning on for these podcasts. I do kind of want them to get down to a half hour. So let's see if we can do this and get this done nice and easy here. So first of all, we're going to open up. We got quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, Mike White, Skylar Thompson, and Gavin Hardson. So there are 4 quarterbacks currently sitting on the depth chart for the Miami Dolphins, probably because they expect injuries to take place or just because they're smart, one of the two. At running back, they have Raheem Mostert, Devon Aiken, Jalen Wright, the rookie, and Jeff Wilson Jr., which I really wish could get healthy. Because if he were to get healthy, I think he would be a trade piece for the Dolphins, potentially to get a 6th-round pick, 5th-round pick. I could think of 2 teams that could use a really healthy Jeff Wilson Jr. right now. Wide receivers, we all know Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. We all know Jalen Waddle, and now also Odell Beckham Jr. The problem is, after that, now Braxton Berrios, I don't want to take anything away from. He is a decent slot receiver. Honestly, Braxton Berrios reminds me a lot of Brandon Stokely. It takes the quarterback to really bring out what Berrios could do. That's kind of how I look at it as. But you got Braxton Berrios. You got Malik Washington. And you got River Craft. So, once again, and this has become a kind of repeating theme, the receiver drops after the first 2. Because let's be honest, Odell Beckham Jr. has not been outrageously healthy. I'm impressed he already signed. I thought he'd wait. So, let's not dig too deep into it. Don't want to do that, but there's the reality with Tyreek Hill's hurt, Jalen Waddle's hurt. There's a reason the Dolphins offense drops down. Yeah, they're great talents, but they got nobody behind to replace them. Tight ends, Jonnu Smith, I think is actually a huge addition for Tua Tagovailoa. I believe Jonnu Smith is a huge addition for Mike McDaniel. I have Jonnu Smith in one of my fantasy dynasty leagues. I'm not getting rid of him. I fully believe that he will be very valuable. Durham Smythe is still the backup there. The fullback, Alec Ingold, longtime fullback, love it. All right, left tackle, Teron Armstead. Excuse me. Teron Armstead. He's healthy. It's great. Backup, Patrick Paul. Left guard, Isaiah Wynn. Once again, if healthy, great. Backup, Lexter Colton. Center, starter, Aaron Brewer. Backup, Leon Eichenberg. Right guard, Robert Jones. Okay. Backup, Jack Driscoll. And right tackle, Austin Jackson. Backup, Kendall Lamb. Everything with the Dolphins' offensive line, they did lose a couple people. So here's the thing. Everything with the Dolphins' offensive line is going to be on health of their tackles. Isaiah Wynn, I think will be okay. Robert Jones will be okay. Brewer will be okay. But Austin Jackson and Teron Armstead really run this thing. It's a very similar feat to the Dallas Cowboy offensive line. The tackles kind of anchor it. When Tyron Smith was out, it was pretty hard. Zach Martin was good, but he needed those bookends to be able to make everything kind of click and everything mesh. So offensive line, if the second string ends up being able to step up, then Dolphins could be okay. Kendall Lamb is a longtime veteran, so should be all right. All right, on defense. Now, this defense runs a 34 defense. So they have, we're going to go, once again, starter, backup. So the left side, they got Zach Zeeler. Then they got Neville Gallimore. at defensive tackle. And they've got Calais Campbell at right end. Now, I like the Campbell pickup. I do not like it for Miami's defense. A 34, I understand what they're doing. Okay. Akeem Hicks, the longtime defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears, got moved to right end when he left, and it was because it was a 34 defense. Calais Campbell has been a right end for a long time, but it was a 43 in Jacksonville. It was a 43-34 hybrid in Atlanta. This is a straight 34. I don't think he can hold up. So I love the signing. I just don't like it for their defense. Their linebackers, though, linebackers are good. Jalen Phillips, David Long Jr., Anthony Walker Jr., and Bradley Chubb. Love their backers. The backers are not going to be the problem in the slightest. Their corners, Kendall Fuller. Big one. Jalen Ramsey somehow is still on the Dolphins. I thought they were going to trade him. They did not. But I really did. I really thought they were going to get out from underneath Ramsey. Your safeties are Javon Holland and now Jordan Poyer, which is a huge pickup for that secondary. Your backups are Marcus May, Patrick McMorris. I tell you what, the safety position is kind of taken care of. Your nickelback is Kader Kohu, and Neil Needman is the backup there. You got Siren Neal and Cam Smith, the first two backups for the corner position. So all in all, the defense outside of the front is where it just, there's nothing. Christian Watkins is gone. You bring in Calais Campbell. I don't see it. I just don't. Your kicker is Jason Sanders, and your punter is Jake Bailey. All in all, I like the Dolphin defense. I really wish Vic Fangio was still the defensive coordinator, because I think with the way the linebacking core is, if you guys think about this, I know we're going to sidetrack for a second here. We'll get back on track. Don't worry. Think about this. The years when the Chargers had Sean Merriman and Sean Phillips, they ran a 34. Their defensive tackle, the nose tackle, was big old Jamal Williams. You remember him. Veteran. That defense wasn't good because of the defensive line. That defense was good because the linebackers were stout. That's what this defense reminds me of. Really good linebackers. Chubb, Phillips, Long, Walker. Walker, I understand, is, I understand he's kind of journeyed around since leaving the Colts. I get it. But in a 34 with two middle linebackers, Walker is really, really comfortable. David Long Jr. from Michigan, solid middle linebacker. Not great, solid. And then you got two really good ends. So all in all, Miami's depth chart doesn't look bad. The health questions on the offensive line and the defensive line skill, I do severely question. I question the line of scrimmage, period, for the Miami Dolphins. The line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. Depth at receiver, yeah. But the reality is the line of scrimmage. Gotta stay healthy. And the other side, do you have the skill? Do you have the skill on the defensive line to be able to be the little bit they need to be for those linebackers? All right. So let's make the jump to the other team that we're going to be looking at tonight. The New England Patriots. Now, I have to tell you the truth. I'm looking forward to there being excitement around the Patriots again. Yes, I am a Colts fan, and I understand this sounds like sacrilege. Here's why. Excitement, and you guys, if you listen to this podcast, if you have listened for any amount of time, you know that I have nostalgia built with what I do. Nostalgia is very big to me. Nostalgia will sell whatever it is you're putting forth. That's why teams have players come back, Ring of Honor, Appreciation Day. It's nostalgia. The Patriots, for me, are a nostalgia. Do I want them to win a ton? Win a ton of playoff games and go to championships? No. I'm talking about the competition. I'm talking about New England Patriots, a now stalwart. I don't want them to go back to what they were. Drew Bledsoe had brought them out. Drew Bledsoe had gotten them to a Super Bowl. Drew Bledsoe was on his way to getting them to another one. The Patriots were coming around. That is the early years of me watching football. The first Super Bowl I remember that I can fully remember is Reggie White's beautiful performance in that Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. I remember Corey Maggette. I remember Terry Glenn. Okay? I remember Curtis Martin being with the Patriots. I remember that. So, there is just a bit of nostalgia with it. And I do want them to be successful because I believe the Northeast has to have somebody successful. This is true for anything that is countrywide. You have to have all four corners, is what they're going to say. I'm going to say you got all five corners covered. You have to have the Northeast. You have to have the North. You have to have the South. You have to have the West. And you have to have the Midwest South. There's 5 areas of the country you got to cover. And a team has to be viable and exciting in each one of them. So let's be honest. Boston, the Patriots. Right now, the Giants and the Jets really are nothing. Buffalo feels more like it goes to the north because of its location than it does the Northeast. Philadelphia can be Northeast, but right now, it's just a really well run franchise. What happens with the team, we don't know. But there needs to be excitement. You got to have everywhere covered. So it's good for the NFL when the Patriots are just good. Not great, just good. Okay, get a drink here. Hang on. Got some cherry Coke tonight. It tastes good. All right. So, starting quarterback. Here we go. Right now, Jacoby Brissett is number 1 on the depth chart. Now, I am okay with this. As a Colts fan, I love Jacoby Brissett. As a football fan, I love Jacoby Brissett. I like Jacoby Brissett being one for the first 4 games. If he goes 4-0, keep him in, sure. But I like giving Drake the early month of September, maybe the first 2, 3 games. I don't want him coming in when the weather is cold for his first time. That I think would be horrible. But I do like Jacoby Brissett, Drake May, Bailey Zappi. The running backs, this got strengthened this offseason. Ramondre Stevenson signed the extension. Antonio Gibson comes over from the Commanders to be a really good second running back, and then you've got Kevin Harris as the third. Your receivers look a little bit better, not going to lie. I like some of the moves they made. This is what they have now. Kendrick Bourne, if he can stay healthy. Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, the rookie from Washington. KJ Osborne, who I think will actually end up starting more often than not. I think he'll be the starting slot, and he should be with what he did in Minnesota. I believe Bourne's going to be injured, so it'll be Douglas, Polk, and Osborne. Juju Smith-Schuster is also on this team. Can he recapture any of the magic? Any of the magic? That's going to be the question. Then you got Javon Baker as well. Your tight ends, they were able to keep everything basically intact. They've got Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. Great 2 tight end sets. Great 2 tight end sets. I love where they're at. All right. So the left tackle, we're just going to go with Okafor. I'm not going to try to butcher his name as bad as it could be. Okafor is the starting left tackle with Caden Wallace as the second string. Then we got Cole Strange, the starting left guard with Nick Leverett as the second string, the starting center. Jake Andrews with David Andrews as the second string now. Sidney So. It says it's S-O-W. However, like I said, I don't look any of this stuff up. So I haven't looked into the Wikipedia and figured out how you actually say the name. But Layden Robinson is the second string. And then Mike Awanu and Velderman Lowe. Hang on. There's Vidarian Lowe. Okay. Just had to read that. Sorry, my eyes were going buggy trying to figure this out. Vidarian Lowe, those are your tackles. Honestly, I like the youth. There's a lot of youth on this team. They got a guard. They got a receiver. They got a quarterback. Very good. The youth is there. Now, defensively, they're once again going to run a 3-4. Now, they're going to run into the same issue as the Dolphins do on the defensive line. We got Keon White, Devon Goodell, Christian Barmore. Yeah, I know. Not really jumping off the screen at you, is it? Armon Watts, Dietrich Wise Jr. are the backup ends. And then your backup defensive tackle is Daniel Ukulele. Haha. I like ukulele better, actually. Actually, it looks good. All right, so then we got the linebackers. Now, the linebackers, here we go. Look, this ain't bad. The linebackers work. Matthew Judon with Anfree Jennings as the backup. Jawan Bentley with Sione listen, I know the guy. He's a good middle linebacker. Taikiaki. What? Yeah. Takaki. Whatever it is. Either way, he's the backup. We got Julian Tavay. And we got Joshua Uch. The linebacking core for the Patriots is really good. This is the Dolphins. This is the Dolphins all over. Your secondary, Jonathan Jones, one corner. Christian Gonzalez, the other corner. Not bad. Kyle Duggar, safety. Jabril Peppers, the other safety. Marcus Jones, nickel back. Marco Wilson is your second string back. You got Sean Wade as another back for another cornerback, second string. Marcellus Dial Jr. is your backup currently to Jonathan Jones. And then you got Brandon Schrader, or no, Brendan Schuler as a backup safety, and Marde Mapu as the other backup safety. Now, I will say the kicker part of the Patriots is a little bit interesting. They have two right now. They have Chad Ryland and Joey Sly. I think Joey Sly, he's got a bigger leg. Ryland may have the accuracy, but Sly's got the better leg. That is for sure. And up there in New England, they could be doing a lot of field goals. So who knows? They may keep both of them on the team and just go with whoever's got the hot leg. I don't know. I'm really not sure how they're going to do it. Really not. But I do know that they will have a kicker that can make field goals. And then Bryce Behringer is the punter. All in all, it's after everything is said and done, both teams have the same questions. Now, there's a little bit more question with the Patriots on the skill side, but you see them actually taking correct steps. KJ Osborne is fast. KJ Osborne is very fast. Juju Smith-Schuster can be fast. Jalen Polk, I think, is actually going to end up being a starter. Like I said, Kendrick Bourne, I honestly think they're just waiting for the opportunity to get him out of the building at some point. And he's been too injured. It's but I mean, there's just, you're still going to have some rollover from the ultimate screw up that Belichick has had. It's still going to be there. And that will be something that Mayo has to deal with for a little bit. But I think it'll be okay. I think most of the bad contracts are out of there. I think especially after this year, everything will open up. I like their back end, the Jonathan Jones, Christian Gonzalez. I love this. I love the corners. Peppers, Duggar. I love the two safeties. Like this, the defense looks good. So I can't see how this defense doesn't still end up top 15. I just don't think the offense at this point will have enough firepower to be able to compete with teams that can really score. They can beat the Jets. They can beat the Titans. Honestly, they could probably beat the Colts. Because the linebackers are going to do most of the dang rushing. And the corners can shut people down. Any team that is hovering around 500, the Patriots can probably beat. If they beat them, you're not going to be shocked. They could go 4-12, but you're going to go, it's a 4-12. But they didn't need to be 4-12. They definitely could have been 7-10. Just a couple bad breaks. So I like where the Patriots are. Can't lie. I like where the Patriots are, and it's good for the NFL to have the Patriots be good. It's very important. So I like I like where we're at. AFC East is done. Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. I'm going to do my official prediction video, prediction podcast right before the season starts, after the cuts, after the final, trades that take place and whatnot. I will do the final standings projections then, but right now, my gut feeling is Bills 1, Dolphins 2. You can interchange the Jets and Patriots. I think both of them win 5-6 games. I'm not a huge believer in what the Jets can do. I think their offensive line is just gonna. I think it's just gonna crumble with injury. I think their defense is really good. I think Robert Saul is a fantastic defensive coordinator. He's going to get fired, and he'll be a defensive coordinator again. And that defense will be outstanding the next year, and I'll probably draft him in fantasy. It's about as simple as it gets. So, AFC East is done, and we will move on to the NFC East. I'm going to go back and forth, so we're not just running down one conference and then switching over and running down the entire other one. We're going to do a little bit. We're going to do a little bit back and forth. All right, closing thoughts. Here we go. Close this out here real fast, and then call it a podcast. So, what you're going to see this year, there were a lot of young teams, a lot of young teams that you're going to see. I think what in the NFL is sometimes missed is the legitimate excitement to play football. Because of what I talked about to open the podcast, because it is such a business, because the business has been the sole focus for so long, the enjoyment and the excitement is sometimes lost. So this year, very simply, I am looking forward to these younger teams, the Patriots. The Bills got a lot younger. The Jets, the Dolphins. I'm looking forward to some of these younger defensive teams or younger teams at the skill positions. Looking forward to watching them. Looking forward to seeing the excitement to play football. Not just like it's a job, but the legitimate excitement to play. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I hope you are as well. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. It always comes back to being a game. It's a football game. And we all love watching it. We all get delved, deep dived, head over heels into it. But it's still a game. And I hope that the young guys this year will be able to enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a fantastic rest of your afternoon. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time a podcast becomes live. Thank you guys so much. This has been Sports Talk with Hawk. I'm Hawk, and I'm out.